Well, thanks very much, Dwayne. A Saturday afternoon game here at the SCG is a bit of a rarity, but they've turned on beautiful conditions. Not a breath of wind down here. A little bit of cloud cover for the guys to keep them a little bit cool. The ground is a little bit lush, so the boys might have to find their long stops today, so a little bit slippery, but perfect conditions all in all. And boys, with Barry Hall being out, I suppose a lot of the forward duties go to Michael O'Loughlin. I watched him a couple of weeks ago. He has been under the pump with his retirement, I suppose, and his form was a little bit down, but last week he really turned the corner, set up a couple of goals and really turned it on. So look for a pivotal point for Michael O'Loughlin today, boys. Have a good call.
Thanks, Rowan. And you are interviewing Barry Hall at half-time, I understand. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. Barry's going to stop his car right in front of us. He's going to get out. I'll interview him at half-time and then he'll get back in and continue on his cavalcade.
You have some explaining to do. You did in that pre-game with the gentleman before, call him the missing link. I'll let you explain that in this context to Barry Hall
a little later on. Boys. Trying to get him at the Bulldogs.
Well, he might be the missing link for the Western Bulldogs. Toss of the coin, as you saw earlier, Adam Goodes winning the toss, and the Swans will kick left of screen, and not a bad crowd in for what is a crucial contest, 8th versus 10th.
It certainly is, and just even looking at the players that are heading forward for Sydney, Lynch, you've got Lewis Roberts-Thompson heading forward, you've got Ted Richards heading forward, you've also got Ed Barlow heading forward. Now, these are players that don't traditionally play up forward, but they've had to fill holes. You've got Michael O'Loughlin, in a sense, the only true forward there. Jude Bolton, midfield, half forward. Luke Ablett, the same. But Barlow, LRT and Richards. Going to be an interesting forward setup for the Swans.
It is a very interesting setup with Ryan O'Keefe in the midfield, and everyone spoke about O'Keefe's slow start to the season, and he was only averaging those 15 disposals in the first 5 games. He's really bounced back and well up into the mid-20s since that time, and he's up in the midfield. Obviously his fitness and form is going very well, so they'll need some goals out of him, although he's not going to be a stationary forward target. He'll kick and carry the ball a long way today.
Umpires today, Matt Stevick, Simon Meredith and Troy Purnell. And Paddy Ryder in the middle to guide it. Yep. Darren Jolly.
No surprise with Bolton on Lloyd and Grundy on Lucas.
And we're underway at the SCG with a perfect opening bounce. Ryder, little palm down. Straight to Goodes though. Quick in. Caught. And love it. Little sidestep and a long bomb towards full forward. Remus down there. Bevan with the fists. And Remus might cut this off. He can't get there in time. And once again, he's produced those beautiful, we'll call them red, but there's a little pink in them, boots, so we can identify him quickly.
Massive job for Heath Hocking. He's following Adam Goodes, a hard tag.
Let's talk Sam Lonergan into wearing some radical boots as well today. Sam Lonergan in the gold. Well, the lemons there, as you can see on the left of your screen.
The white boots just don't stand out anymore, do they? They've just taken to a new level of the young blokes.
Well, some have gone to the radical all black.
That's cutting edge.
Exactly. Kirk in the white boots. Kicks to the midfield. Ted Richards, former bomber, and he drops it.
Well, good work to make up for the mistake.
Yeah, mopped up his mess well. Jude Bolton, Grundy, Ablett back into the team this week. Been in and out the last couple of years. Luke Ablett, but back in, and Goodes.
Didn't get there.
That was a bump ball, and does he get the benefit of the doubt here that he didn't know? He does.
Well, he absolutely knew.
Right.
He's just trying to pull it over the umpire's eyes. There's no doubt there.
Bounced.
It bounced just before the arm.
Tell you what, Heath Hocking's going to cover some miles today, chasing Adam Goodes around.
It's Kirk, wobbles one across the boundary line on the full. He was beaten last week, Adam Goodes, by Josh Gibson, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
He was. Gibson was very good last week, but yeah, it's a big ask for a young player in Hocking.
Another very interesting matchup out there, though, Lynch, is Jobe Watson, who's just marked the ball slipping over, and the man standing the mark, Ryan O'Keefe.
Yeah, coming back from injury, Jobe Watson's going to know he's in a game with plenty of run.
Yes, it was an ankle injury as well, so it's not as if it's a finger injury that he won't have to worry about running-wise. Winderlich wide. Love it. Short. Lonergan in those gold boots. And Remus on the move in the red boots. Can't get there. Punched away from him. Dyson pounces. Tries a centering bouncing ball. Well played, Grundy. Played in front. Gathered close to the line and not able to be kept in will get a ball in.
Yeah, good defensive work from Heath Grundy on that occasion. Scotty Lucas was tearing back towards the goal square. Grundy took up the front position, and the ball was just too far away to get the long kick over the top to Scotty Lucas. So well read, well played.
Jolly, a little use of the hands there on Ryder. Edged him under it, but Davey slick. Winderlick, Watson, that tested the ankle out and passed the test. Remus.
Gee, he's developed as a footballer, Joe Watson, hasn't he? His ability to maintain his composure under all that criticism when people said he was slow, he doesn't kick the footy well.
Well, it was more that kind of target that he would miss in years gone by.
Yep, he didn't panic, he half slipped, but he still got around one Sydney Swan defender, and then that's a beautiful kick just into the space in front of Remus.
The opening score of the afternoon here at the SCG. Perfect. Bombers get the first half dozen.
And we see in that sort of situation that if you play behind as a defender, especially when the ground is a little bit lush, as Ronald Smith was saying before the game, it's a bit lush and there's a coating of mud on top, you're just not going to be able to have the grip on the ground to hit the front. And that was a very nice pass, so very tough to defend on the best of days, but you're going to slip a little bit as a defender, so you've got to be very careful. You've got touch and contact with your opponent all the time.
Fourth goal of the year for Kyle Remus. Good start on Bevan. A couple of tough hombres, so that'll be a good battle to watch as well. Ryder with the flick back. Watson read it, was in his direction, but it was a bit too hard for him. Lonergan tried to scoop it back to Watson. Smith came in hard. Back towards Lonergan, fighting on well. Dyson rides the bump. Winderlick, they've started well, the Bombers. Looping ball over the top. Welsh pokes it wide, misses the target. Lovett, who fails to even chase Jack. Roberts Thompson looks off to Barlow. He could. He's a long kick, short. Not by Lachlan. They want to get him into the action early.
Turnovers kill you in football, don't they? Andrew Welsh had the ball in the middle of the ground, just coming out of the square, and he tried the short pass that was intercepted by Kieran Jack, who's got the job on Andrew Lovett. And the quick rebound, all of a sudden, bang, bang, bang. There's the turnover. Terrific anticipation from Kieran Jack, attacking the footy too.
Yeah, but your call, Dwayne, was spot on. Andrew Lovett just did not look like chasing. Now, he wasn't going to get him, but it's about putting pressure on the ball carrier, and there was just no pressure from behind.
You're never sure if the ball carrier bounces the ball and doesn't come back to him. O'Loughlin, who's been 50-50 at goal this year. 10-10 coming in today. Perfect there.
We spoke about Mickey O'Loughlin, about his smart use of the ball up in the forward line. Even if he's not kicking goals, he can set up goals, and with those goal assists last week, he was a very important player in the game against the Kangaroos. Now, we know he can find space, and that was beautiful use from Ed Barlow. He's got the capabilities to kick a long goal as well. Nice passing to Mickey O'Loughlin. If he can get his confidence up early, he's going to be a handful.
Game 296 for Michael O'Loughlin. Just weeks away now from becoming the first Swan ever for 300 games. He's already played the most games ever by a number 19 in the history of the game. Free kick from the ball up.
Ryder, it's against you, Darren. Went across the line and blocked him.
Okay, you heard it. Against Jolly, went across the line and blocked Paddy Ryder with an arm.
And the centre bounces that we've had so far, Darren Jolly's been looking at Paddy Ryder and going across and taking his jump every time.
Remus, good give to Davey, wide. Lucas dives and not on the good side for a left footer. In fact, he's not even going to get the kick.
Straight out of guys.
He thinks he marked it, Scotty Lucas.
He's a pretty honest guy too.
Yep.
From the ball in.
Ricky Dyson.
Okay, so Dyson to take the free here.
It's against Rhys Shaw. Just worried perhaps Dyson getting goal side of him. Not arguing too much with the kick. You often get away with a little bit of holding around the contest, but he got pinged on occasion by the referee, or the umpire I should say, that was downfield a little bit.
Just having a look there left of screen.
Yep. Just he allowed Dyson to get goal side and then he was chasing.
Wasn't a lot in it, and the footy gods believe there wasn't enough in it for that to deserve a goal. Bombers lead by behind from Ricky Dyson's boot.
Another matchup to watch, boys, in the Essendon forward line is Alwyn Davey on Jared Crouch. So look to Alwyn Davey to use his speed today, especially with Crouchy having those hamstring problems over the last couple of months. So we'll try and stretch him today.
And I think Smithy was right about the surface too. They certainly should have the long stops on. Is this a mark? Well,
I don't think it was.
He thinks he took it, but
yeah.
I think the ball did hit the ground. But we're already seeing players slip over.
Good tackle that from Winderlick. Ball back in Lovett's direction, and Davey stole it from him. Lonergan,
great
one
tackle.
hand pinned. Classic tackle from Smith. Not rewarded, but no prior opportunity perhaps. Matner, Slick, Crouch, O'Keefe. Not his usual tidy disposal there. Hurley did well. Game number 2 to Pears, the future of the Essendon back line. Remus, Stanton.
Hey, try right there. Push out, Paul. Play on.
And now the bomb. Lloyd. Goods over the top. Fantastic.
Great mark from Goods. Good work from Craig Bolton to hold Matthew Lloyd down as well. The Swans are pushing big numbers behind the ball and just pushing their forwards right up the defensive side of centre as well.
Craig Bolton in the Ted Richards direction. Thumped clear of him by Hurley. Another one-arm tackle by Lewis Roberts-Thompson. That time was on Pears, not rewarded. Prismal to Watson. Corralled by Jude Bolton.
Good kick.
Back inboard, Dempsey. And now a wobbler. And it's a wobbler that got the journey to Remus. Wide ball. Ryder. Winderlick takes on Matner. Not a great idea. Handball towards Lucas. Manhandled by Grundy, who's over him. Craig Bolton dumped to the turf by Lloyd. Ball still alive. Lucas, can he get it off? Davey, he went around the post. Davey off the deck. Touched by Barlow.
I'd like to see that again because I think the hands were around the post from Scotty Lucas. This is Adam Goods just dropping back to give Craig Bolton a chop out on Matty Lloyd. Good strong mark.
They're away here, the Swans. This goes over the back.
Oh, even better.
Or if he takes a grab like that.
Gets it off to Bird, does Michael O'Loughlin. High kick. Best Primmy was in the seat, but he couldn't take the mark. Ablett. Pears. Hits the ground. And we'll have a look at this where it went around the post or not shortly. To whether it should have been still alive.
Well, it was perilously close. Have a look. He's got the post there. He just he tapped the ball one side and was then trying to go back around the other side of the post. Kept it alive well, Scotty Lucas.
May have even touched the padding. Ablett to Bevan. Now Michael O'Loughlin. Sold the dummy to Fletcher. Little shimmy. And now high. Richards can't get a fly at it. Jolly can't get a set. Now he does. Kick smothered by Hurley. Well played by the second gamer. There's Primmy. Jolly. All the way back. Crouch. You can go for goal here on the left. Fronts by Davey. Roberts-Thompson.
And that's always the way. The dirty old floater comes in towards the forward, and if he's in front, it's going to be a nice, easy mark, and so often you see that. Great smother on Darren Jolly's snap for goal. He's getting a little bit ambitious, the big fella. A bit hard to turn on that slippery surface, but...
Michael Hurley with the good smother.
Yeah, Jared Crouch, just a little floater off the left foot.
Even defenders kick them from there. That's his second of the year. Lewis Roberts-Thompson.
And they'll need players like Lewis Roberts-Thompson, Ted Richards, as we spoke about, Ed Barlow, a few of the taller players that are used to playing down back to be able to take marks up in the forward line. Now that they haven't got a big target up there, we know Mickey O'Loughlin finds some space, but he's never going to take any big contested grabs. But some good use of the hands and vision to flick it out the back and get it towards some space where Jared Crouch was. So good effort, good goal, 4 points up the Swans.
Was struggling a month or so ago. Lewis Roberts-Thompson and Triple Brownlow medalist Bobby Skilton just called him out of the blue and let Lewis Roberts-Thompson know how much he admired him as a footballer. Loves coming to the football to watch him, and gave him a big boost. LRT to hear that from Bobby. Jude Bolton dumped off the ball from the ball up, couldn't get the clearance.
You got to knock it out.
And
Come
the
out,
umpire
Plum.
telling them to get that out, and Watson does get it out toward Lloyd. Hands on it, couldn't take the mark. Winderlick the crumb. Dyson, he's already had a sider. Roll, wobble, tumble, goal. Bombers are back in front.
They don't write how they went down in the scorebook, do they? That was just a rolling flat punt. But I tell you what I did like about this, a great clearance from Joe Watson. Look at Jason Winderlich. He reads where the contest is and he gets there straight away front and square from behind the contest. That is a tremendous effort. Great anticipation from Jason Winderlich. He knew the ball had to go to the front of Matty Lloyd, who was battling with Craig Bolton, and he got there first. He was the one that got the hand pass out and set up the goal for Dyson.
Dyson with Winderlich and Watson leading possession getters on the ground at the moment. In fact, the Bombers have the best 3 possession winners to this point in the game. 14 plays 12. Another good bounce. And this time Pike, the late inclusion for Jared McVeigh. Late exclusion for the Swans in the ruck. And he'll get a chance to go at it again, Mike Pike, in game number 3.
And also an area that the Bombers are dominating at the moment in the first 12 minutes, Dwayne, is the inside 50s. It's 8-2, so the Swans have gone inside their 50 twice for 2 goals, and the Bombers are going for their 9th at the moment. So this is their 9th forward 50 entry.
Oh, and Remus, it was more difficult to get out of the way of that pass than it was to mark it. Matty Lloyd will go back and have the shot from 50.
Well, we know Craig Bolton's one of the best defenders in the competition. He was right behind Matty Lloyd, but the kick actually dropped, turned a little bit over right to left, right into the spot where Matty Lloyd was leading. You watch the kick as it comes forward. It just turns over a little bit at the end, right into that little pocket of space. He couldn't have asked for a better kick, Matty Lloyd.
Kieran.
Not sure if it's a big occasion up here for the Lloyd family this weekend, but wife Lisa, seat 1A on the plane up this morning. Not bad off the boot. And her boy's doing well. Bombers lead by 8.
And a really good start for the Bombers. They're working well in through the centre corridor, and the run of Winderlich, Watson and Dyson as well is getting involved with his 1 goal, but they're starting to really run and carry the ball. We know that's the big danger for the Sydney Swans, is if the ball carriers for the Essendon side start getting their hand on the ball, it's going to be tough to stop them. They've got to try to get numbers around the stoppage and really block it up and stop that run if they're a chance to win this game.
Give each other run, Jude, Andrew.
I suppose there is a minor milestone of sorts. He passes Don McKenzie today to become the 8th player on the all-time Essendon games played list. Matty Lloyd creeping up the games played list. 267 for him now. Of course, his 7th all-time on the AFL VFL goals kick list. Continues to creep up that as Bolton continues to creep toward this ball. Gets it outside 50. Tie up with Barlow. He's mauled. And the umpire calls for a ball up just as the ball is raked free. Rowan Smith.
Well, Dwayne, Kyle Remus just came to the bench before the doctors were just having a look at his left eye, so he might have just got a little bit of a poke or maybe a little bit of grass in there. They've cleaned it out and should be back on in a minute.
Watson's handball stolen by Goods. Just pulled the kick at the last minute. Hooker. Fletcher. Stanton. Love it. And all the way out to Cale Hooker, who started on the bench. Had a hard time of it in the ruck last week against Josh Fraser. Cale Hooker had a lesson of sorts. Hocking.
Oh, Ryder's free.
How good is that?
He can march in here. He decides to pull up.
Dempsey, sorry. Great
So
work,
Courtney Dempsey from about 35.
And Pat Heath Hocking on the back, he had options everywhere. He had players screaming, he had short leads coming directly at him, he had a couple of players looking for the hand pass, but he had a look at all his options first, and he saw Dempsey streaming into a vacant attacking 50, and it was just a long kick, uncontested chest mark, should result in a goal. Terrific option from Heath Hocking.
If you've joined us for the biggest lead of the game so far, 14 points. He can't nail the goal. Courtney Dempsey, who also started on the bench today for the Bombers. Plenty of rotations again, you would expect. Shaw. Just chips it outside defensive 50 and not a lot of players there to go to. Pears cuts it off. Davey scoops it up. Hocking, he could go all the way here, and he misses to the near side.
Sydney Swans really starting to struggle with their kick-outs on a number of occasions now. They're struggling to find targets or get a clearance outside their defensive 50.
Oh, Bevan played on in trouble there.
Bombers are on top. They just haven't capitalised on all their opportunities. Missed a couple they should have kicked.
So Craig Bolton is released here. He wants to go.
Jolly's just come off the bench. He's out on the wing all on his own, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it to him.
Well, if he yells and calls for it, the Bombers will realise he's there as well. He's caught in between. And Craig Bolton didn't know he was there, so he goes to Ted Richards.
It was an exceptional kick to find Ted Richards. Now, they're in the forward half for Essendon. They've got a zone set up. They're man-on-man, picking up the Sydney Swans at the other end of the ground. Very effective at the moment. Find it very difficult to run it out.
Bevan to O'Keefe. Spectacular grab that.
Needed to be too because he was under pressure.
Inboard to Shaw, who's in hot form, possession-wise. Jolly now with the leap. Hands weren't quite there. Watson dragged down, dispossessed. Kirk ducking to that tackle. Umpire didn't fall for it. Goods missed it. Best Premi didn't. He could go all the way from the paint. He misses behind. Brilliant goal last week, Best Premi, but the celebration was even better. Made highlights tapes around the world. One wide from Dempsey. Early. Half-back flank. About to tick into time on opening term.
Well, that's a win for the Swans. Just been able to stop the run for at least a few seconds for the Essendon side.
Go to Pearce. Pearce back to Hurley. Trouble here. Hurley caught. Two Swans went to Hurley. That left Pearce free. Lloyd with the reach couldn't bring it down. Craig Bolton and O'Keefe share it. You heard the touch call from the umpire. Lewis Roberts-Thompson. Hurley wraps him up.
Looks like Luke Ablett down, and a fair amount of discomfort from Matthew Lloyd's jump at the mark just a few seconds ago. Big knee in the back. Let's have a look at the replay here. And that is not a great feeling. Knee to the kidneys.
The ball in. Ryder, McVeigh, Pearce. Davey on the move. Bounce pass is good. Turns Crouch inside out. Uses some speed. Heads wide. Dyson. Boundary line beats him. Quite a good spot for a ball in for the Bombers.
And Luke Abbott's still in a fair amount of discomfort as the doctor just gets him to his feet now.
Marty Matner.
Marty Matner, was it? Sorry.
He's got one right in the back, right in the kidneys.
And the ball in. Here is Ablett, so he's okay. But Matner will be coming off. Craig Bolton to Grundy. Nowhere to kick. In fact, they're a man down at the moment because he has to walk from one side of the field to the other for the Swans. Smith back to Grundy. So it's 17 on 18.
And they're getting frustrated. I'm sure Swans fans were getting frustrated to say, why don't they kick it? It's because there's no one further afield to kick it to. They're all manned up. They're all contests that are probably going to result in a turnover.
That was a very easy, soft push to the back.
Well,
3 against Pearce there.
Yeah, it's that he paid the push. It was that hands in the back, though. He touched him on the back, which is the rule now.
And this, a long kick to the square. Jolly's down there. Ryder tried for the big one. Love it. Stayed down for the crumb. Lucas. McVeigh. Back into the team this week, of course. Missed the target, so maybe a little rusty.
Good option.
Oh, Jack off the deck to O'Loughlin. How do you like him? That was laced out soccer style.
Well, Mark McVeigh had the ball deep in defence and he wanted just to kick it out in front of Andrew Lovett, but I don't think Andrew Lovett was on the same wavelength. He didn't quite read the kick, and then when it came, Jack just won the contest at ground level, and that's a good option. He was 1 against 3. He said, I'll just get it going forward. No doubt he wasn't intending to hit Michael O'Loughlin, but he got it into a dangerous area.
Nice lace out work. He'll be claiming that.
Well, you like those as a forward too.
Actually hasn't played for a couple of weeks, Mark McVeigh. Was out suspended for a week and then dropped last week, but didn't play in the reserve, so kind of dropped for drinking with Dean Solomon, but not really dropped. As O'Loughlin drops this through the middle for his second.
Inside 50 is still very much in favour of the Essendon Footy Club at 12-7, but if Mickey O'Loughlin's got on a fortunate one, and that's come about. We're a bit unlucky, the bounce there, and some good work from Kieran Jack, but they've managed to hold Essendon in their defensive half for that 2 minutes there without giving them the run that they've had the first part of this game. They've been running very well. Some of their big ball carriers are getting good numbers.
2 goals to O'Loughlin. By the way, McVeigh wasn't dropped for drinking with Dean Solomon. He was just dropped for drinking.
For not turning up to training.
Dean Solomon just happened to be there. He was worried that it would hurt his captaincy prospects, Mark McVeigh, but didn't hurt Ricky Ponting. From a ball up, Jolly
Andrew Simons didn't go too well with
That's
it, though.
a good point, yeah. High ball, off hands, Bird,
Got him over the shoulder.
caught high.
First tackle's high.
And to get it
Great
back
Bird.
quick while there's space in the forward line. Ed Barlow could find some space here.
The leads come, still space. Malcheski. O'Loughlin to the pocket.
Yeah, Dustin Fletcher's gone on to Michael O'Loughlin now after he's kicked a couple in the first quarter.
Goods.
That went 8 metres, that kick.
Yeah, barely the 15. Hands this off to Grundy, and he doesn't go for the big one. Pass off towards Lewis Roberts-Thompson. Hooker got a fist on it. Bird, Jude Bolton, Bevan, about to get caught. Now Shaw can roost a long ball from the paint all the way. Swans hit the post when they thought they were in front. And they do have the biggest, fattest padding in the business here at the SCG, and it's cost them. Stanton, it's a 2-point game. It's been a good game though. 8th versus 10th on the AFL ladder. The Bombers in 8th spot, but they could drop out of the 8 at the end of this round should they lose this one. Winderling. McVeigh.
Such a good kick on the left foot from Jason Winderling. He's been impressive in the first quarter. He's had 7 possessions now. And he's given away 1 goal to Ricky Dyson with a great hand pass. Here's the just touched the inside of the padding.
Doesn't even need to be that high, the padding. Mark McVeigh from the pocket. Drifts across the face a little. Still in the field of play, but thumped through. A behind. Going to have joined us late. Mark McVeigh's little brother Jared, a late exclusion from the Sydney Swans lineup. Mike Pike, the late inclusion as Shaw straight down the middle to O'Keefe. Good release kick that. They're on here. Malcheski short. Pike, the man we spoke of, missed that. Hooker took on the tackler, lost the ball. Roberts-Thompson throws it up to Jude Bolton. Ted Richards, he's caught, dragged down by Pears in the back. No, holding the ball.
Holding the ball.
Terrific tackle. Great pressure from the Bombers defence.
Had fair prior opportunity, could have given it on that occasion, brushed the tackle.
And tried to turn him in the tackle as well, so he didn't just crash straight into his back.
The pleasing aspect about that flow of play was the Sydney Swans actually got out of their defensive half with the kicking, which was a big win.
Lloyd on the wing. 3 minutes from quarter time. Long opening term. We've played 25 minutes already. Davey heads back. And backward to go forward, Stanton. Lucas, little nudge. Use of the elbows and not the hands in the back of Grundy. And again, it's on a poor side for a left footer.
That was just bread and butter for an experienced
He's
key
a
position
wily
forward.
old customer, isn't he?
Yep, he was smart enough to know not to use the hands, had to protect his drop zone, and it's always very hard for a defender to push back. But you just hold your ground, and he's just dropped back and taken an easy regulation mark in the end.
Just pushed off with the forearm.
And with the left, slots it. Bombers back out to 9 points.
Well, the crowd don't like it, understandably so. To them it appeared that he pushed off with the hands, but it also seems to be a rule that they've relaxed as the season's progressed, and certainly this year compared to last year, a little bit more leeway. You could argue that there might have been a hand involved as much as there was a forearm involved,
You
but
could almost argue that there was 2 actions there as well.
absolutely. In fact, in just about every body-on-body marking contest, there are 2 actions, so I don't like that as an excuse for paying a free kick full stop.
And you'd probably rather the forward get the benefit of the doubt there than the defender.
Absolutely. I mean, you be the judge at home. Are you happy with this as a mark?
Well, the right hand did touch the back, so, I mean, technically speaking, especially at the start of the year, that's a free kick. And, I mean, the interpretation is still the same as it is in the rule book.
Out of the middle, Goods to the 50, sends it long. Classic Brownlow medal form from the 2-time Brownlow winner.
Now, this is just extraordinary athleticism, but what about how far he ran while juggling the footy? He's run 30 metres, tapping the footy to himself. Have a look at this. Mike Pike goes up, taps it straight down. 1 tap, 2 tap, 3 taps, 4 taps. And he's almost at the square when he actually takes possession without bouncing the footy. That is unbelievable stuff.
Good work from Mike Pike in the middle of the ground.
And he hit that with his 9-iron too. Had he hit that with the driver, Adam Goods, that would have been at the rugby league venue next door.
And that's how they designed it. You see with that shot, there's no player for the Swans at centre half forward, so it clears the space, and that's for exactly that play. If you can get possession out of the clearance here and run through the space and get a shot on goal, is exactly what the Swans want.
There you go. Watson, Winderlick, Prismal. Not the best of kicks. And Craig Bolton. Lloyd plays for a turnover free, claiming it was too high.
Optimistic, I would have thought.
Yeah, strange for Matty Lloyd to take a dive. Barlow.
Oh, little clip from Duano.
Oh, no, if you're good at it, congratulations to you. You've got to try what you can try. There's rules that are made to be bent to your advantage. Adam Goods.
A few of the big guns have got their name on the scoreboard. Lucas and Lloyd for the Bombers, and Goods and O'Loughlin for the Swans.
And that's what the crowd come to see. Some of the big guns in action. Matty Lloyd, Lucas, O'Loughlin.
Gee, they've swapped around the Essendon defenders. They've mixed and matched depending on who's playing where. They haven't really worried about matchups, more so positions.
And Watson's become a big gun as well. Gets that to Prismal. Now Stanton. Lucas short. Better side for a left footer. Needs to wheel around. Can't. Good pressure. Grundy took him to the line.
Stanton just went short to Lucas. Lucas had just doubled back, so he was on the back foot, so he was never going to make the mark on the full.
Pike, he tapped it to his opposite ruckman. Hooker gives to Lloyd. Kick smothered. Craig Bolton got there in time. Jude Bolton tries to thread it out. Lonergan, half a hand held. Watson, umpire called play on, but he knows he's going to have to toss this in the air with 40 seconds left.
This looks like a typical stoppage for the Sydney Swans. Are massive players.
About 30 players around
30 players there.
Pike again got the knockdown, but almost straight to Watson. Richards got it from Kirk. Gave it off to Bird. Sends it long to O'Loughlin. Feeding back Fletcher. Gets back in time. Shoots it off. Clock starts to roll again. There's Fletcher. Clock seemed to be stuck there for a while. Hope it was just ours. McPhee. Either that or there'll be an extra 8 seconds in this quarter. The mark taken by Hooker. Gives it off to Prismal. It's wide. Hurley. And now McPhee. Held up by Jude Bolton.
Suspect they'd moved a bit quicker if they knew the time on the clock.
Well,
might be some controversy if they get a go in the last few seconds.
Absolutely, because this should be time. The siren should have sounded, according to the clock having stopped moments ago.
Well, this may be a very important shot.
He's a long kick of the football, Matthew Lloyd. This is right on the cusp of his range, I'd suggest. He's going to have to kick from 55, 56 metres out.
For the sake of a talking point, we need him to kick this.
Having said that, he did mark it 5 or 6 seconds before the siren went.
Yeah,
so if it's stopped for 5 or 6
Yeah.
seconds, it's all good.
That's fine.
I'm going to throw a wet blanket on it.
Yeah. Mind you, they might win by behind. And there has been some thrillers between these two teams here. Matty Lloyd with the long launch. It might be short, and that's a behind. It wasn't forced through. It was off hands. Just confirming it. So a behind to the Bombers after the siren, and we've got a 4-point game at quarter time. 4-5-29. Sydney Swans 4-2-26. Marty Matner. And the second term about to get underway. 4-point lead to Essendon. Jolly up against Ryder. Goods coming off a good first term to Kirk. Wide. Richards. That's the mark on Pears. Too far out to score. Pass option short. Barlow within range.
We know he's not overly reliable on accuracy, but gives the ball a big roost. I think he can get the journey. It'll just be a test on his skill whether he can flush it straight.
He's kicked 6 goals, 9 this year, so straightness hasn't been his forte. from outside the paint. That's nice, but it drifts again.
It's gone over the fence.
Only behind.
He kicks the ball extremely well. And he passes the ball, as we saw, to Mickey O'Loughlin in the first half. Those low penetrating passes, but yeah, just the
Goods again. Sorry, Alistair.
No, that's right.
Got a little bit excited.
I should keep quiet when he's about to go near the ball.
O'Loughlin. All the big guns have come out to play today.
Yeah, well, Dustin Fletcher slapped his hands together after that because he was the one responsible for Michael O'Loughlin when that ball went in. He misread the play. He went to cover a space. He knew where O'Loughlin was, and he missed his chance to go and cover him.
2 goals in the opening term. Michael O'Loughlin. This to give the Swans back the lead. One of the 50 greatest goal scorers of all time in AFL, VFL history. And a terrible build-up, really.
It was a massive wrap. You were just loading up with Dwayne.
Well, I've got a couple of them here, by the way. You too, Alistair Lynch and Jason Dunstall in the box today.
He's in good form, Adam Goods.
Yeah, 7 disposals for the first quarter, and the goal, he's been on fire, and Mickey O'Loughlin, up until that shot on goal, has been looking very nice as well.
McVeigh, a spear, and gee, Davey didn't read that very well.
No, that's a couple of times Mark McVeigh's kick has been of good intention, but the intended teammate hasn't picked it out.
Watson, gee, I think that hurt the ankle, that left foot kick. He had a little goose step after that. Kirk gets it off. Barlow, Richards. O'Keefe caught and got it out. Got the arms free.
He thought his way through that extremely well, didn't panic.
Classic lesson for young kids there. If the tackle's coming, get the arms up. Crouch to O'Loughlin.
Massive shot.
Fletcher's ball.
Well, now see, 2 actions, I don't like that as an excuse because there's 2 actions in just about every mark you go for unless you're just running and jumping at it. So everybody on body battle has 2 actions. I don't like that as an explanation by the umpire.
No.
All he should say was, you pushed him out. It was a big push. That's all he's got to say, not 2 actions.
The umpires also take into account if you push a strong guy like Dustin Fletcher out of the way, it must have been a reasonable push.
Yeah, well, that was a big push. You saw a big movement from the arms. So hand in the back there, big shove.
He went to ground pretty easy, Big Dusty, that big strong bloke you're talking about, Dwayne.
Yeah, that rule was in the Bible, I think, under blessed are the meek, because they inherit the earth in those contests most of the time. The
lyrical, the boy.
Weaker player tends to get the free. Barlow, Kirk, looked at a couple, sold a couple of dummies, heads to Jolly. He heads longer. Richards, Roberts Thompson, big fly. Richards, nice crumb. Missed the snap.
Yeah, Mickey O'Loughlin wasn't too impressed that he's had the little snap around the corner on that occasion. Some great hands by the Swans out here on the wing in front of the commentary box.
Winderlich. Bounce pass for Slattery. Made it tough. Takes on Kirk and wins. Lucas had to be precise. That kick. He made it tough for Pears.
Loose players on the wing, though.
Dyson can run here.
Got to run it.
He's got McVeigh in support. And uses him nicely. Davey. Crouch with him. A fist from Crouch. Knocked it clear. Lonergan just overran it a little, then fell. Craig Bolton to Crouch. Handball smothered. Watson up towards Lloyd. Tucked in the pocket. Very kickable for Matty Lloyd. Opens it up and he nails it.
Good forward line pressure. Bringing this about, I think it was Lonergan that put the hand up and caused the hand pass from Jared Crouch to be turned over. It went to ground, and then a great hand pass from Joe Watson found Lloyd. Have a look as it comes in here. There's the hand pass over from Watson. He's got great vision around a contest. Well read by Matty Lloyd. He had the strength just to change direction, break a pretty meek tackle and kick the goal. Easy as.
Two goals now for Matthew Lloyd. One on each term. Back out to a 7-point lead. Jolly and Ryder in the ruck. And a good bounce for them. Jolly looked at Ryder, then looked at the ball, got the palm down, but straight to Prismal. Dempsey, love it. Bombers are away again. League comes, Reema's on the move. over his head. Matner, hurt in the opening term, dives in, beaten for it. Remus, caught now, went to ground. Davey played for the free, didn't get it. Lonergan, love it, chips inboard. Goods again. It's a fingernail on it. Lloyd takes on the tackler. Craig Bolton, likewise, and didn't get it up. Lonergan dragged down. Fantastic contest this. Prismal gets it from Hocking, spins it around the body. And a drop mark from Jolly. Call in.
You don't see him drop marks like that too often. Just a bit of extra time and space. He didn't really realise or know where the fence was or the post, but
a little bit
just
off balance, wasn't he?
Just spilled it.
Jolly straight down to Goods. He spilled it and ducked through the tunnel. Jude Bolton. Barlow. Roberts Thompson with a couple to beat here. Two bombers there. Pairs. Tough one for Hurley. It was a bounce pass. Roberts Thompson got it back. Fletcher dives in.
Well
O'Loughlin. He lends a hand. He falls. Hurley gathers. Little slip again. Winderlick. Fletcher. Dempsey.
Well, they got numbers spare everywhere. Paddy Ryder's in the forward 50 all by himself.
Yeah,
they'll
get a goal out of this. He's 50 clear of Jolly, but that's a poor kick from Lucas, and that's probably cost him.
Standard looks up.
Ryder. He had to push up the ground because of the poor kick.
Remus, pocket.
Yeah,
Matner's
Paddy Ryder should have been marking that ball 10 or 15 metres inside the attacking 50, not outside. It's all because of that poor square-up kick from Scotty Lucas.
Yeah, they just slaughtered a goal there, the Bombers.
Lead by 7. Ryder knocked it down. Hocking had a piece of it, gets it back. Dives through traffic. Lonergan. Ball in the congestion. Short. Jude Bolton. Craig Bolton. Crouch. All had a piece of it. Tough one for Jack. He's got a couple of beat. Fletcher's one of the two.
Yeah, just a blind kick. Just kicking long, not knowing who was at the end of the ball, but it was all Essendon.
Dempsey to Hurley. Little bounce on the cricket pitch. Tries to spear the pole. Remus! Big grab.
It was a beautiful pass too, but Remus had to do it 1 against 2. They've got their running game going at the moment, the Bombers. They're on top of Sydney, but they need to reward themselves on the scoreboard. They are dominating the inside 50s, 21-14. But have a look at this for a contested mark.
Over Paul Bevan was the one sitting
hurt Bevan too.
under the ball.
Got the knee on the hip.
You can wear those Larry slippers if you're taking catches like that every week.
Just needs to reward himself with a goal.
And he sinks the Larry slipper into the leather and misses. 8-point lead.
I reckon they've played well enough to be 3 or 4 goals in front, the Bombers. But if you don't put Sydney away, you know they'll come at you at some stage.
It's probably been more from Sydney's.
2 balls on the field at the moment.
They've held it up. There's been some individual brilliance by Mickey O'Loughlin up
Adam
forward,
Goods.
Adam Goods as well, just to keep Sydney close enough.
But they're actually getting quite outplayed at the moment by the Bombers.
Ricky, back 1 metre.
Reece Shaw coming off another 30 possession game last week. Another fumble. Jude Bolton is coming off some pretty good games as well. Won't like the look of that on replay. Smith, a fumble.
Badly, actually, the Swans.
Dempsey, and he slips. He was away there, then he turns it over.
Terrible
Crouch.
kick. He had Hocking, he had Lonergan in space, but he just didn't see him. They're blowing opportunities at the moment, the Bombers.
Move it on, play
We
on.
can see both teams are really struggling to get their footing on the ground. It is slippery.
Nick Smith, game number 6, gets it off. Grundy. Barlow over the top to him again. And now Adam Goods can't get there for the jump. Almost got there for the crumb. Out of play.
Just have a look at that footing. Here's Jude Bolton, just had it spent before he got there, and then he goes to change direction, and you can see it's a little bit slippery, a little bit damp, a little bit of mud on the ground.
Right contest. Hooker almost threw that out. Stanton throws it on the boot. Lonergan. Oh, good grab. Floating ball. Tough one to mark. Sends it toward Lucas. Bouncing ball. Clever gather. Shoots it back. Winderlick. Inside 50 but poor. Great ball. Matner. Shaw.
Play on, not 15.
Crouch heard the call, had to play on, not 15. Bird.
Well, where they'll get hurt, the Bombers, they've had all the play, but if Sydney finally go forward and kick a goal and square the game up, they'll feel very hardly done by the Bombers.
Well, they've been very good. The normal run from Marty Mattner and Reece Shaw off half-back is just not there at the moment for the Sydney Swans. And when they did, like on that occasion there was certainly no free targets to hit up.
Interesting. We just saw some boys changing boots there, Smith. They all going for the long screws?
Yeah, virtually. No, when all the boys are rotating off the bench, they're changing their boots. They're all in a big bag down here at the moment. So more of the Essendon players are actually changing their boots in the swing zone.
Grundy. It's already got a contender for Mark of the Year.
A good one too.
Player, not 15.
Barlow, not 15. Umpires have been hot on that today. Shaw heads wide. Jude Bolton holds that one.
It is funny, though, the reluctance of players to wear the screw-ins. They don't like them. Rowan Smith told us before the game, it's slippery, it's damp, you've got to keep your footing, you need to have the screw-ins, and yet they still start out with the moulders.
Ablett with the snap. Hurley got a hand on that.
Well, it's extraordinary, really. I mean, we walked across the ground prior to the game as Grundy's big grab. Not quite up there with his Mark of the Year contender from earlier in the year, but it is actually slippery out there. You'd have to start in screw-ins and then maybe change down if you thought it was safe enough later in the game.
Lonergan pops it up for... Well, it was a good grab, McPhee. Barlow had a chance to spoil that, but McPhee used his foot well. Tries to nail Wenderlich with the pass, missed him. Shaw. Barlow. There's your not 15 call.
Gee, they've gone hot on that all of a sudden. That one looked 15.
It was.
Barlow takes them on. Kicks with the outside of the foot. Roberts-Thompson with the reach. Not paid it. Didn't have the third grab. O'Loughlin across the line.
You'd have hardly played with screw-ins, Jace, wouldn't you? You'd be the moulded man, being the full forward.
I played in screw-ins every single game of my life. I was terrified. I got bored out early about slipping over and didn't want to do that again, Lynchy.
That's right.
Well, some coaches wouldn't let you play with moulded.
No. Mind you, we're talking about a long, long time ago too, Dwayne.
Watson. Shit, they used to bang your studs in, did they?
Nails.
Kicks around the body, it's drifting, not enough.
The ankles are up through the loops around the laces up through the loops around the ankles.
Oh, yeah, I'm stitching my sides up listening to you too.
Wallaroos.
Not happy there. Wants Bevo to do something.
Andrew Welsh. Play on call. Chip kick okay. Lloyd is a long way up. Stanton. Prisma. Wenderlich. Well worked. Chance to extend this lead to the biggest margin of the game.
The Swans are just struggling to stay with the midfield of the Essendon side. When they're carrying the ball out of defence, they're running well. There's plenty of numbers. As Matty Oyd took that mark in the centre of the ground, he had plenty of running options. They're working very hard when they've got the ball, the Bombers, and likewise when they haven't.
Fairly accurate this year. 10 goals, 5. Jason Wenderlich. Neither team has led by as much as 2 goals today. The Bombers lead by 2 goals now.
He's had a very good start to the game, Jason Wenderlich. He's had the 12 disposals, kicked the 1 goal now, and this is the option. There was plenty of options running past Matthew Lloyd, and not all had opponents from the Sydney Swans. And with that change of direction there, it just opened up the fat side of the ground. And once again, the forwards working very hard to find some space and made the most of that opportunity from 45 metres out. Bombers going fairly well at the moment, 12 points up.
As Lynchy said, been in good form. Only missed the 1 game this year after just 9 games last year. Missed the last 11 games last year with that back problem, the prolapsed disc. From the ball up, Jolly slaps it down, but to Watson. Bombers get the clearance. Stanton. He protected the drop zone of the ball, but Bird was clever. Craig Bolton. And now Goods. Hacks it wide. Hurley with the fist on Roberts-Thompson. Pearce. Been binding pretty well, those two young players, to the old. Lloyd. Hooker. Can he get there? He rises. Got hands to it. Couldn't bring the mark down. Remus with the toe. Welsh, slick. Remus from 30. Can't finish. Madness.
Well, they should be probably 5 goals up now.
Yep.
The Bombers have had plenty of the ball. They're about 20 plus up in the disposal count. And that's a regulation shot on goal for a class player like young Jason Winderwick. But the kick-handball ratio is going extremely well. Kyle Remus. I think that's the 3rd one I've missed, Jace, for the day.
We don't want to pot Jason Winderwick. He's been very, very good.
Right. Oh, no, I'm on fire.
We'll get Kyle Remus to wear a brighter set of boots for you, Lynchy, if you like.
I see what it's Watson and Winderwick that are doing the damage for the Bombers. They're the 2 best on ground, I think.
Little nudge from Goods. Umpire said it was okay, and Robert Thompson has it on 50.
Do you get a little bit more leeway when you're a Brownlow medalist and one of the competition stars in those sort of situations, Dwayne?
Well,
sometimes I think you do.
Best and fairest, of course.
Yep.
He wouldn't cheat. Long kick. O'Loughlin can't get there. Little bouncing ball. Slattery did well there.
Let's have a look at that throw in and what happened.
Straight out it goes, don't lock down the
Gave him a
front.
decent bump under the ball, Hocking.
Hocking, not your regular ruckman either. Ryder, he got a bump from Pike, who got his own clearance there. Won't be holding the ball.
No.
He didn't take it out of the ruck. It was simply knocked back to him.
He actually handballed the ball as soon as he got it, but it went off ahead and straight back into his hands. He got the fright of his life.
Could be something for the future, for the clever. Get around that, not being able to take it out of the ruck rule. Pike with the slap down again. Watson will push to the side. Goods in quickly. Ablett. And we'll probably get a ball up here. 7 minutes left on the clock.
Thanks, Luke.
18 gone. Matthew Knights. Scott Camporelli to his left. Class player in his own right. From the ball knocked down. Fletcher dives in. Tend to forget how good a player Matty Knights was. 279 games for the Tigers. He was a star. We know Paul Roos is one of the greatest we've ever seen. From the ball up. Jude Bolton, gee, had that, but he spent it before he'd earned it. Now has to lay a tackle. The umpire will sort it out again.
Let's get it out, guys.
Slowed up the tempo of the game at the moment. The Swans just stopping the run of the Bombers out of the back line, which they've been so good at it so far in this game.
There he is, Mr. Calm. Swans have never missed the finals in 6 full seasons under Paul Roos. With that record in danger if they don't win this one. Ablett jumped on it but got it out. Matner edged out of it. O'Keefe had it, lost it. Dempsey to love it. And he parts the seas, but his handball not good. Lodigan mopped up the mess and gave it back to him, and he's away. No one's in the square. Did he get legged? Or was it ball?
He got tackled, but he just didn't hold the tackle long enough, unfortunately. It was a great chase by Jack.
Welsh gives it up. Stanton, big chance here. Slattery, well, he could have gone for goal. Looped it wide. McVeigh wasn't ready for it. Stanton, goal square. Lucas, big leap, and Jolly in the spot there. All the way back into defence. O'Keefe played on. Barlow.
Has to be gone.
She gave us some time there. Craig Bolton back to O'Keefe. Barlow takes on Lloyd.
Look at the pressure from the Essendon forwards. Fantastic stuff.
That's what has been so good. It was great chase and tackling pressure from Sydney when Essendon had the ball. They had numbers running everywhere, and likewise now when the Swans are trying to get the ball out. Good chase from the Bombers.
It's the biggest lead we've seen in the game. 13 points as it stands right now. Matner, a little fumble. Might be something wrong with the ball. It's like one of those plastic ones you buy from the servo. Malcheski over the head of Goods again. A skill mistake. Hocking.
He'd be thrilled with that Hocking because he was caught 5 metres behind Goods and it went straight over Adam Goods' head.
Pears, love it. Slattery.
Stay clear, Luke. Luke, 2 metres back. Thank you. Move it on.
Barking some instructions to Luke Ablett. Ryder.
Hold, Nick, hold. Thanks, Luke. Play on.
Coming off that tough game last week against Josh Fraser. Came back down to earth with a thud in the second clash against Collingwood this year. Paddy Ryder. This is Hurley. No one comes at him.
Just keep running.
Got to go at him.
Draw and give.
But he didn't want to turn it over. Maintained possession to Dyson. Lonergan, strong hands.
The smart thing about that, you look at, was it Hooker that was running and bouncing, Hurley that was running and bouncing. He didn't kick the ball. Sydney laid off him. They wanted him to kick the ball because he's not a great user of it, but he kept his head. He ran the distance, and then he found someone in Dyson who can actually deliver the ball.
He is a class act, though, Michael Hurley. As I said earlier, two-time All-Australian at under-18 level the last 2 years, and he was second in the best and fairest last year at the Knights and only played 11 games for the year. So he can play, as can Lonergan. Bombers out to 19.
19-point lead, and we've just seen in the last few minutes some great running carries. We see the run up the wing here. They're presenting with plenty of players working hard to find space and create space for Essendon at the moment. In the end, it was a beautiful pass into Lonergan, who took a very good mark under a lot of pressure from Bevan. Inside 50s, well and truly in favour of the Bombers, 27-19, so that's a big factor. Probably still should be further up, the Bombers.
Sam Lonergan, one of the two players the Bombers got for trading Ted Richards to Sydney. They received picks 19 and 51 from the Swans, the Bombers, and took Courtney Dempsey with pick 19 and Sam Lonergan pick 51. Both those players playing today. Welsh again towards attacking 50. Bevan, chance to jump on backs, just elected to take the steady mark, and no 50.
And Lynchy, you were talking about the run from the Swans defence. Well, the catalyst basically all year has been Reece Shaw. Ricky Dyson now has just been given the job just to try to do a defensive job on him. He's had the 12 possessions so far, Reece Shaw.
Blake Bolton wide, Paddy Ryder. Inboard, Kirk, look out. Big collision. Dempsey got it down. Now Welsh could go the journey. Runs to 48. That's a gem. They lead by 25.
Well, there's two concerns there. The fact that the lead's gone out to 25 points, and the other one is that Brett Kirk in that marking contest has hurt his right shoulder. He's come down and just landed awkwardly on it. So he might be in a few problems with that left shoulder. So not sure where might be a collarbone in that sort of situation. So there'll be a few concerns on the interchange bench. So we'll probably get Smithy to check that out just shortly. But a couple of concerns for the Swans.
Welsh the goal, but even worse, Kirk off. Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, he's tough. Don't worry about that. The physio tried to explain to him what was going on, and he just said, I've just hurt my shoulder, but I'm okay. So he's just rotating as we speak, having a little bit of a rest, but he looks okay.
His version of okay might be different to ours, because that had to hurt.
Oh, yeah. And there is no joint there for the collarbone to sit into, so it can just jolt out and back in again.
Dr. Russell.
Jolly. What was that wide? Well, having broken one and asked the doctor, are you going to put some plaster or anything on that? He said, no, can't put any plaster on those. Just put up with the pain.
Just harden up.
So Kirk having a sit down for the remainder of the half, you'd think. Jude Bolton. Hocking steals it, runs into a jam. In O'Keefe, that's ball.
Good tackle from Ryan O'Keefe. He had plenty of time to give that one off. But this time, the stage of the first half, just have to convert this opportunity. It'll be a test his distance from 50 metres. Plenty of opportunity.
Adam Goods needs to be careful.
He's done another
little bit going on, was he?
Okay.
Yeah, I tell you what, there was a bit going on between Goods and Adam Goods. Don't put your hands up and say, what about that? You're the one that started this. And he's thrown a couple of Adam Goods in amongst it all.
In the meantime, Ryan O'Keefe with an important kick 2 minutes from half-time. Sensational.
Well, they needed it. They are in all sorts of trouble, the Swans, but at just 19 points, they've got themselves close enough at half-time. That is a terrific result for them. Good defensive pressure. It didn't look like... That's the repeat, because I tell you, that's the second one. Adam Goods did the same thing to Hocking, but then he comes in and gives him another whack. Then another couple of players come in, and then when he gets one back, he throws the hands out and says, what about that?
Well, he's not a clean skin, Adam Goods, so much so that Lee Matthews even called him a protected species a couple of years ago when he got away with some things off the ball that Lee Matthews thought most players wouldn't get away with.
Well, if you're going to give a bit, don't put your hands up and say, what about a free kick when you cop it?
From the ball up, Jude Bolton with the steal, slides it to O'Loughlin.
Once again, it's the big names for the Sydney Swans that are just keeping him in the game. So Bolton involved, O'Keefe involved, and Mickey O'Loughlin. O'Keefe was involved for the last goal, obviously, and Mickey O'Loughlin has just got on the end of some beautiful work up the field.
2 goals in the opening term from Michael O'Loughlin's boot. That's what he has ahead of him.
Just another. That's 2 very gettable shots in the last 15 minutes that Mickey O's missed.
Gee, they had a chance to undo all Essendon's good work in the first half by kicking a couple of late goals and tightening it right up.
Well, kick that one. Essendon goes in with their heads down, thinking we've just kicked our way out of this, or
played
potentially
and
game could have been over.
No reward.
How calm's Paul Roos? Are they shots that we take of him before the game and just roll them in?
Well, Dwayne, he wasn't too relaxed. Sorry about that. He wasn't too relaxed just before. He just gave LRT the biggest spray you've ever seen. As we didn't capture that one on camera.
Okay,
we better go through and see if we can find it.
Yeah, haven't had a Paul Roos tantrum go to air before. McPhee used his body well. 1 minute from half-time. Stanton, Lonergan, and the hands are there again. Maybe too far out to score. Knows it.
Yeah, I like the look of Sam Lonergan. He's got good hands. He knows what's going on around him, reads the play well.
On target to match the 19 games he played last season as well. He's been a good contributor, a regular in the lineup now. O'Keefe, so the turnover here. Swans might get the last roll of the dice. Shaw.
Has to be spot on.
There's Primmy and Fletcher. Fletcher might be content to take this out. He keeps it in. Clock continues to roll. Remus, Davey, Stanton.
And that's why the kick from Reece Shaw had to be absolutely spot on, because there were numbers absolutely everywhere.
Not much time on the clock, and we're going to show you something at half-time, Dwayne, that involved the clock early on. You called it that there was something wrong with the clock. There was a decent chunk of time missed on the clock, which resulted in an Essendon score. We're going to show that at half-time.
Yeah, at least 12 seconds lost or added to the clock. There was
more than that, I'm told.
There was more.
You want to put the wet blanket on it, Jace.
I only saw 12.
It's big.
Uh-oh.
Might be petrol.
Uh-oh. Stanton across the face. And that won't count because that's knocked on as opposed to just accidentally passing fingers and knocked through. Half-time here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. This is 8th versus 10th on the AFL ladder. Essentially an 8-point game for these two teams hunting down a finals berth. Jason Dunstall and Alistair Lynch to tell you all about the controversy at half-time. Straight after this break, the Bombers lead by 18. I know we've had a chat about it before, but his father Noel, who played football up in Albury and Burrumbuttock, the legend up there, lost his hand in a farm accident when he was just a 3-year-old, put his hand in a mincer on the farm and played footy with only the one hand and was a star up at Burrumbuttock as well. And Brett Kirk, whenever he tells the story, says that's where he got his toughness from, Rowan, so you would expect him to be back. Adam Goods to start this second half well, to do as he did in the opening half, run all the way and kick one, dragged down, went too far.
Well, the only difference there, he had the clearance, he was running towards the centre-half forward position, but there were Swans and Essendon players there, so had the dish off the handball, and some Essendon players that hung in there and kept chasing, got the reward.
Hocking, whose father played a game for the old South Melbourne, the Swans as they were in the old days. Heath Hocking, his father Graham, just the one game back in '71, playing against his dad's old team today. And eight Essendon players have never played here at the SCG before. So when we talk about their record of having won 4 of the last 5 games here at the SCG, the Bombers haven't played here for a couple of years. And this is the first time Matty Knights has ever coached here for the Essendon Football Club. The last time they were here, a bloke by the name of Kevin Sheedy was at the helm. So we get another ball up on the wing.
Thanks, Nick. Andrew.
Head to head, these two. Sydney have won 5 of the past 7. So in that regard, Swans do have the upper hand in their recent history. From the ball up, Kirk getting that shoulder tested, and he's still on the bottom of that pack, getting it tested as we speak. Ball's come out in the meantime. O'Keefe stolen by Watson.
Oh,
went for the backward kick, dangerous. All right. Richards collision with Slattery. McVeigh mopped up that mess, got it off to Lovett. A little chip kick from Pears is okay. McPhee
Had to work very hard, both teams, to try to get a clear possession. There was massive players around. A quick exit would have gone into space, but just dribbled outside the stoppage and the players spilled out with it. Very hard to get any run.
Lucas wide, Ryder.
We've got Darren Jolly loitering in the ruck for Sydney, but it's Adam Goods that's actually then going with Paddy Ryder on ball.
Throws it up high. Roberts Thompson with the fist. Hurley all the way down inside 50 for a rare occasion. Michael Hurley forced to backtrack now quickly to get back to full back.
Good ball from Roberts Thompson. Just directed the ball over the boundary line. As we see, the lights are on at the SCG.
Starting to get a little dark as Jolly knocks it down to Kirk, to Ablett. Twists his way through traffic. Matty Lloyd went for the smother. Couldn't quite get it there, and Grundy away on half back. Did well there. Fooled everyone. Gave to Bevan, and now O'Loughlin. Leeds come on attacking 50. Jude Bolton short. It's ignored. And now Roberts Thompson.
And that was smart use of the ball as well. Just held it up until Lewis Roberts Thompson could drop off his direct opponent in Fletcher into some space.
To the pocket. O'Keefe's down there with Richard. Neither can get there in time to take a mark or get a ball in.
Let him run. Andrew. Henry, don't hold.
High emotion here at half-time with Barry Hall doing his lap, and it was fantastic. The ovation the fans gave him shows how much spirit is in the old bloods. And will we see it in the second half here? Goods throws it up. Jolly.
You were holding him, Darren.
And that could be a free. Malcheski was driven into the dirt there. Didn't have it. Play on. Pears twists his way through. Lovett with the slap down. And Winderlick might find the boundary line. Ball in.
Let's have a look at Paddy Ryder and Darren Jolly. Who's holding who? I don't know that Jolly's doing too much, although he might have had that left arm of Ryder's.
But how's the umpire's call? You were holding him, Darren. Wasn't that a free kick?
Yeah, good point. There's degrees of hold, obviously. Just a little tiny hold is okay. Goods, who can't get a hold on this. Bombers by 18 points.
No fluency whatsoever in the Swans game in that first half, and haven't really come out of the blocks on fire at the start of this third term. They've just got to find some run, some clean possessions.
Jolly used the hands. Watson. Lovett. Dyson. Good grab.
Beautiful pass to the right side of Dyson on that occasion. Great hands.
Hops it up long. One out. Lloyd uses the body. Craig Bolton got the fist. Lloyd's onto it. Handball up. Oh, sure. Sure hands, all right. Kirk.
That saved the goal.
And now he can release Crouch. A wobbler.
Oh, grab that.
O'Keefe beaten for it. Fee off the deck. Malcheski. Long handball. Lewis Roberts Thompson. Then is a handball target. Fletcher. Brilliant tackle, Dustin Fletcher. No prior opportunity. And we'll get a ball up.
Well, Matty Lloyd picked up the loose ball. He was looking to get over the top to Winderlick, but the one-handed grab from Reece Shaw saved a goal.
Should have got one a little high, LRT, on that occasion.
O'Loughlin just slipped as he kicked there. Slippery turf costing him again. Kirk tries to thread it out. Ablett dragged down. Gang tackle, ball up. Lifted a gear. Mind you, it started in a pretty fast fashion, this game anyway.
Just the plant foot, the left foot went just as he went to snap the goal, Michael O'Loughlin.
That was in. Jolly, quick down. O'Keefe about to pounce. Gets the hands free. Jack! And he's missed. There, Jack. Can't snare a goal, of course. Kicked that winning goal against the West Coast Eagles in round 8. It was front page news here in Sydney. Rugby man turns to AFL star. That could be 50.
Very lucky, LRT.
Swans have just gone man on man for the Essendon kick-outs.
Yep.
Just to make sure this exact situation happens.
Which means they need to be
possession.
Yeah, they need to be smart enough to revert to the bunch when you kick out, Ben. Yep. Because if you bunch and you go man on man, you can always find a player loose.
Yep.
Good punch from Nick Smith there across the boundary.
And Essendon at the moment, boys, Lucas and Lloyd are playing more higher up the ground with Kyle Reimers as opposed to Paul Bevins playing at full forward at the moment.
Ryder with the palm down. Kirk almost with the crumb. Shovels it out. Goods, arms free. Back to Kirk, who was quick up. Bird, we beat one. Can't beat Lucas. Got a handball out. Kirk. Ball in. It's a hard, tight contest at the moment.
Down
Kirk
again.
is down again.
He's feeling the pain, I think. He's feeling it, but he just keeps somehow willing himself to the next contest. He's got the bad shoulder, and landing like that's not going to help it.
And talked about his toughness of his father. Of course, his grandfather, Wally Morass, did fight at Kokoda, so toughness all the way back for Brett Kirk. Pears, Slattery, they're away again. Standen took on Shaw, just bumped and not tackled. Matner, he got his arms free, threw that out. Craig Bolton, Kirk, bounced up, got a touch. Back to Craig Bolton, heads it long. O'Loughlin, use of the body, did well, pushing the side. Pears, and he has been, well, he's already nominated for an NAB Rising Star Award this year, Tate Pears, having an outstanding season, another outstanding game. Winderlich, Prismal, ducked out of that. Time, Dempsey, corralled all the way back, and they can start again. Hocking, love it. Stanton, Davey short, good hands.
Doesn't look overly confident about the journey either. He's looking for options, looking for a hand pass, looking for a short pass. Doesn't think he can get there.
His form's a little scratchy, just the 4 kicks last week and way below his average against Collingwood. Owen Davey already had 5 kicks today, so a better game already, and he kicks from the paint of the 50. It's got the distance, not the accuracy. They lead by 3 goals, 18 points.
Well, you just get the feeling that if the Bombers could kick the first couple, they can probably put Sydney away. But if Sydney just eke out a goal or two, they'll turn it into a second half grind and fancy their chances of just edging over the top of the Bombers.
Shaw dangerous to Smith. Cut off by Lonergan. Could go for goal. Goes to Lucas, who needs his left, of course. A handball from Lucas.
Where'd that come from?
Reimers from 50. And no wonder he doesn't handball. They miss him when he handballs it to them.
They're 50-metre shots on goal the last couple, but just once again, just allowing the Sydney Swans to stay in the game. But this is the major concern. Getting out of this situation, the kick-ins haven't been working well.
To Richards. Pears again, got a hand on it. Down to Lovett. Winderlich on 50.
That's very close to 50.
Again, another player right on his threshold as far as kicking range goes.
But Sydney kick-ins are generating Essendon shots on goal, which is a major concern for Paul Roos and the defensive half.
They need to start capitalising on some of these opportunities, Essendon.
That's touch and go. That's out of the mark.
Put him to ground, isn't it?
Already kicked 1 today. This for the biggest lead of the game. Push it out to 25. He doesn't.
Well, they're all
punches it out to 20.
And each player that's had that shot from just outside 50 has been uncomfortable. They've run off the line. They've tried to hook the ball around. They just need to find that penetrating kick another 5 or 10 metres further inside the attacking 50.
Barlow, good kick, that 60-metre kick towards Goods. Taps it out. Smith. Now it's got Jude Bolton if he wants him. Jude Bolton feeding back. Goes to Ablett instead. Back again. Bird, short. O'Loughlin, pocket.
Yeah, if he goes back and kicks this,
it's an experienced
it's a massive
player
turnaround
that has been stepping up all day for the Swans. They've been leading the way, the experienced players. When they've needed to, they've kicked goals, and this would be a massive boost to the confidence of the Swans and deflating for the Bombers.
Well, the reason he was able to hit Ryan O'Keefe is he got a terrific body block by Craig Bird, who just stepped in front of Adam McPhee and allowed O'Keefe to get 5 metres free on the lead.
Yeah, the last 3 shots on goal, as you said, Jace, before for Essendon have been out around the 50-metre arc. They've really had to tee it off. This will certainly test Ryan O'Keefe as well, but converts this opportunity. The crowd get involved in the game. They're up and going.
Was one of the most informed players in the country, Ryan O'Keefe. Can't get the distance. Out of midair. Malcheski went over the crossbar. There's Primmy with the clean-up.
It was terrible defending in the end by the Bombers. They should have had numbers there in the goal square. How can a ball come to ground level and get picked up in the middle of the 10-yard goal square and kicked through by Ves Premi without a bomber in sight? The long kick comes up. You can see the numbers here. Now, as that high ball goes up, all the other Bombers are standing. There's 3, 4 of them at the back standing there watching, including Dempsey. That made 5 just standing and watching, not doing anything.
They'd be doing their head in the Essendon coaches box. That has been a terrible few minutes for the Essendon Footy Club. They've had 3 shots on goal and dominated play with disposal inside 50s and everything, and you could just see it happening. The Sydney Swans go forward and through some poor work on the goal line have kicked a goal.
5 Essendon defenders just stood there watching.
Watson, Welsh, and slip again from Grundy, standing back with the flight. Good attack, Winderlich, up to Dyson. Well, he rolled one through earlier in the game. He bounces this one through at the same end.
Lynchy, I like the bodywork of Matthew Lloyd in this particular instance. The kick was intended for Brett Stanton. The kick from Welsh. Stanton was leading into space. He didn't realise that the Sydney player had gone to ground, but Lloyd just held off Bolton and allowed the ball to continue unabated. And in the end, it was picked up, hand passed to Dyson from Winderlich again, who's done some great work down there. Another good snap.
Just the answer that the Bombers needed. Very good answer as the Swans just got themselves back in the game, but the lead's back out to 20 points.
Mike Pike into ruck. Against Ryder, flicks it down, Jude Bolton. That was out of the copybook to Ablett. Inside 50, Ves Premi, bouncing ball. Tough one to collect, Dempsey. Ves Premi, little toe poke. Can he finish? He setters instead. Ted Richards there, can't get there. Lovett does. Jack beats him to it. Hands it out, Jude Bolton. Richards, Ablett. Richards lays a Shepherd, gives Ablett some space. Gords! Big fly, couldn't bring it down though. Criswell under pressure. McVeigh heads wide. Stanton on the line.
Loose player on the wing.
Welsh being run down. Lloyd ran under that a little. Pike getting back, the late inclusion. Jared McVeigh out of this one late after not being able to complete the warm-up, so Mike Pike in, the Canadian, to do the ruck work.
And it was a very late withdrawal from Jared McVeigh. He was out on the ground. We were in pre-game. He was out there doing the run-through, so obviously
trouble is he was moving like me, Lynchy. That's the problem.
That was.
He was never going to play once that happened.
Dyson shuffles it out. Watson, Hocking, Welsh. They had options there. The ball couldn't hit them, and Ted Richards beat 3 there. Nice collect. Matner. Bounce pass. Beats Ves Premi. Lovett will get there first. Bombers can reload. No, they won't. Slattery missed with the handball. Goes back in, gets it. Outruns. Gives up to Hocking. Pops that up. Hoping Lucas can run onto it. Well played, Matner. Body on the line there. Took the oncoming traffic. Lonergan. Pearce. Doesn't get a chance at goal very often. Heads to the square. Fist comes. Boundary line looming. And the players would be pretty keen for a breather.
Still, there's a bit of fumbling going on around the ground and a bit of intensity in the game and just the slippery conditions. Both sides, both players from both sides are really struggling with their footing still.
Pike's free. Tossed out of the ruck contest.
been doing some good work in the ruck situations.
That's not good work.
Didn't say about kicking.
He nearly got away with it. That's a throw.
Gee, had a long time there, Adam Goods.
Protected species, Dwayne.
A kick from Pike whilst laying on his back.
That's what Lee Matthews said.
Well, so they say the good players look like they've got all the time in the world.
Oh, he
Now
snagged.
the Bombers got pinged.
Yep.
That's extraordinary.
And Adam Goods has got the free kick, which is even more extraordinary.
I swear he threw the ball in the middle of all that.
He did. He caught it again.
He had an eternity to get rid of the footy. They're clinging by a thread at the moment, the Swans.
Crouch. In fact, the whole season clinging by that thread.
Yet if they can kick a couple of goals, that'll lift their confidence, and they will then think they can get over the line.
It's Roberts-Thompson to Bolton.
It's that tight.
Yeah, you know the Sydney Swans at the SCG are never out of the game until time on, deep into the last quarter.
McPhee coming off that very good game last week where he got the most possessions for the Bombers in that Collingwood game. 29 last week for Adam McPhee. No Bomber last week getting 30 plus.
Essendon defenders find space far too easy throughout this game. They're able to hit up targets in the back half too easy on a regular basis.
Watson.
Lazy kick.
Yep. And Richards gets back in the hole. Good commitment there, but he took his own player out.
Well, it was great courage from Richards, but he's taken out his teammate in Nick Smith.
Jobe Watson's been so good, 19 possessions. He's kicking at 75% effectiveness, but that he just wheeled onto the left foot, and he could have got onto his natural foot. Why wouldn't you do it?
Jolly back into the ruck. O'Keefe. Handball a little too hot. Welsh went for the kick over the head. Dyson in heavy traffic. Watson. Handball over the top. And it's like a game of twister. We'll get a ball up there. Inside 50. 5 players get to their feet. Look at that pack around this ball up.
Swans not allowing any space for the Essendon forwards, just really trying to choke it up at the moment.
Hawking had it but lost it. Barlow's got it but can't get it out.
Well, there's basically everyone bar 6 pairs of players. So that's 24 players out on the ground around this contest.
It's almost everyone bar pairs. Jolly down. O'Keefe. Barlow. Now Lloyd should collect this.
Is that
it bounces
deliberate?
kindly.
It's a good result for the Swans.
Is that rule still in, the deliberate thing?
I don't think so, because
Okay.
there was nobody out there for Sydney. He just kicked it out of defence.
There's no
straight
crowd
towards
to
the
roar
boundary.
for it, though. You need
No.
the crowd.
Give each other a run.
From the ball in. Hooker from behind. Jolly front spot. Jude Bolton.
Line.
And Jude Bolton.
Held in. Thank you.
He and Kirk, the number 1 and 2 tacklers in the AFL, averaging 7 and 8 tackles a game, the two of them. So try and break free from the congestion when they've got you. It's impossible. Kirk gets tackled this time.
Could be in trouble.
Gee, did he have prior opportunity?
Well, I think he did, and then when he
Red
realised he
hot.
didn't have any options, he just turned into traffic, and
Right.
he's looking at the umpire saying, "You're kidding."
Welsh long. Lloyd, Lucas, that'll do. Lucas and Lloyd, that'll do. They lead by 26.
The Swans defenders will be very disappointed. Paul Roos is extremely disappointed about that situation. It was a free kick that's gone against Brett Kirk. Absolutely red hot. Didn't have a lot of
Didn't have a
prior
lot, did he? You're right.
opportunity. But when the ball comes in long to some experienced defenders in Grundy and Craig Bolton, you shouldn't have a situation where there's an easy mark or an uncontested mark, which should have been very contested. And then Scotty Lucas has dished off the handball from the goal square.
Biggest lead of the game, 26 points. Now, was this prior opportunity for Brett Kirk?
Look, I think he's harshly done by it. He didn't have a lot on there, but Dwayne, we heard you with a little bit of surprise in your voice when you called a Scott Lucas hand pass before. What about one in the goal square? That's enormous from Scotty Lucas.
That's from a guy who's been dropped, of course, this year, and told to reassess the way he was playing. He's reassessed it all right. He's handballing. Goods gets on the end, outside of the foot, and misses.
No
Bend
left
it
foot.
back.
No left
Gee.
foot. Went the banana.
Ed Barlow was just running to the top of the goal square by himself as well. He's not going to say anything to the Brownlow medalist, but just a little look across.
So the kids at home watching that, don't do that. Grow a left foot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hooker. Lucas. Can't get on the end of it, and Bevan does. There's Primmy. Got Barlow in short, needs to hit him. Do you love it? Good contest. overran it, but made the spoil, laid the great tackle, and Lovett to take the free.
Two terrific efforts from Andrew Lovett. One to get there and spoil the mark, and then to effect the tackle against a much bigger opponent.
We're into time on, third term, 21 minutes gone. Ball bounced unkindly for Stanton. Attacking well, Bevan, with his head down. Roberts-Thompson, a little slow. Barlow, kickable from there. No one in the square. Goal umpire doesn't move. Bounces through. They're back.
Well, started with an unlucky bounce for Stanton, as Paul Rose is just at the top of his voice yelling some instructions out. But some very good work from Paul Bevan. He's gone in low and hard, got the ball out, just scrapped it forward to Ed Barlow, who's just kicked one from 55 metres and bounced it through. He's made the most of the opportunities there, but some good attack of the ball led by Brett Kirk, who got the unlucky free kick a few minutes ago, but that one was Paul Bevan.
Well, Swans general manager, football manager now, Andrew Ireland, as we see the Essendon box, said a couple of years ago at a club function that Ed Barlow could be the next Adam Goods if he gets his act together. And he's just starting to get his act together now. Ed Barlow keeps them in this game. Paddy Ryder's kick, terrible. Stanton, high. Roberts-Thompson, Lucas. And now Winderlick, a chance to snap. Instant reply, the Bombers. They're back out by 25.
Terrific snap. A new opponent for Scotty Lucas. Heath Grundy, who played on him in the first half and the first part of this third term, has gone forward. And Lewis Roberts-Thompson, who started forward for Sydney, has gone back onto Scott Lucas. It was a big high one-on-one. Neither looked likely to mark the ball, but he's read the play beautifully every time, Jason Winderlick. He knows where the fall of the ball is going to be. Always puts himself in the right position, hits it at pace and finishes beautifully.
A 25-point margin in the shadows of three-quarter time. Winderlick has two. Swans in a spot of bother. They're 10th on the ladder. They lose this. The Bombers essentially pencil themselves into that spot in the 8. Barlow with a tackle.
Well,
360.
I don't know that he had prior opportunity either.
It was the 360 rule that comes in every now and then.
You've got an arm free. You've got to do something with it.
You've got an arm free.
Play on the line.
Short. Barlow gets it from O'Keefe.
They've managed to answer each time the Bombers have kicked a goal. Sydney, can they do it again?
Short away Lachlan. Now he passed last time he was in that spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he'd get the journey from this pocket.
So he'll be looking for some space to pass into here. There's Premier Leagues into the space.
They need more movement from the Swans forwards to get out and clear space for someone else to
Dustin
lead into.
Fletcher has crept 2 metres over the mark, right up to the 50.
Centering kick. Reimers. Big leap, couldn't mark it. Got the crumb. Love it. Dangerous, but good. McPhee. Took the step. Lucas. Backtracks. Not a lot to go to. Fletcher will do. Oh, just on the line. Fletcher to Criswell.
Now they're on. Oh, they can go.
Hooker. Looks up, he's got a couple of options. The long is the one he wants. Stanton. And Stanton can push this margin out to 31.
Well, we say it time and again, Lynchy, the toughest thing for a defender is when the forward's leading back towards goal and you've got a long kick coming in, you're looking for your defender, hard to track the footy, and it's always the forward that reacts first when the ball drops short.
Yeah, and that was on that occasion. It was Rhys Shaw coming back with the fly of the ball and lost body contact, and yeah, spot on in a lot of strife.
No mistake there. Biggest lead of the game with 2.5 to three-quarter time.
Let's have a look at that kick, that square up from Scotty Lucas to Dustin Fletcher.
Not a lot in it.
Look, the boundary umpire is in perfect position to call that, and here's the long kick from Hooker. And he, again, another player slipped over in Rhys Shaw.
You would be sure that he'd have the screw ends blown in the back line, but very slippery on the top of the surface.
Sydney Swans, this game and their season at breaking point now. 31 points. Jolly waits for it. Little toe poke, love it. O'Keefe, arm held. Welsh with the clearing kick. Roberts-Thompson, front spot, good hands.
Yeah, good hands, good use of the body.
Play on as his teammate knocked it from his arms. Shaw, some speed, short. Malcheski fumble. O'Keefe trouble. Got it out. Malcheski, Jack. Heads toward attacking 50. No mark, Vespremi. Jude Bolton, Malcheski. No prior opportunity there, surely. And Goods playing for a free. Stanton. Oh, and he's been dumped. Remus.
Excellent free kick off the footy.
And Remus will get the
Excellent
free.
free kick. Just here. Give it to Watson, that's fine.
A little bit of niggle and antagonism going on out there. Watson.
Play on.
McVeigh.
Here, mate.
That's a nice bounce to start with. Doesn't get the confidence up.
Stanton.
Might put the next one down, face him down.
I think I'll kick it now.
Pears. Good chance here to go on. Already kicked one this season. Doesn't go for goal, goes for Lloyd. Spectacular.
They've had a couple of instances. We had Hooker a little earlier come running forward, steaming forward. He just kicked it long to the dangerous spot and found Stanton. That time Pears would have been tempted as a defender to have a pot shot. Nothing better than a backman running down and kicking a goal. But he thought, work within my limitations. I nearly slipped over, but I got inside Ted Richards. And I can see the skipper in space. Why not give it to a bloke whose job it is to kick goals?
Just gave him his right foot a little bit too easy, Ted Richards. Need to keep him on the boundary side.
Took some big bags against Sydney, Matty Lloyd, but never here at the SCG.
That's a bad miss. They can put nails in the coffin right now, the Bombers, and they're not doing it.
He's got a 13 to his name against the Swans, Matty Lloyd.
You expect him to kick that one.
Yeah, but never here, never kicked a 5+.
Jason.
Strangely enough, O'Keefe.
Back 1 metre, Matthew.
Bevan.
Play on.
Far from convincing again, the kick out.
Shaw.
Try and run it.
Craig Bolton. Grundy, use of the body. Oh, McPhee. Well read. Important mark that with 37 on the clock. Backtracks inside 50. Andrew Welsh. Tough for Winderlick. Impossible for Winderlick. O'Keefe. Kirk back on. Mike Pike. They need a mark inside 50. Kirk heads it wide. Crouch. Got a fist to the ear.
On the back of that.
And 50.
No way.
Well,
He'll have a shot.
We've seen worse than that let go today.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Might be just the break the Swans need to keep in touch going into the last term.
It's a handy 50 as well. It's a 55-50.
Is that the first 50 of the day, Dwayne?
Oh, I reckon it is.
They've let everything else go, and there's been plenty where it could have gone the other way, but
And that was in the contest still.
looked it.
There's been a few later.
Unless he deemed that Lovett's eyes were just on the back of the head and he said, cop this.
Well, he's only kicked one this year, Jerry Crouch. One of the ageing warriors for the Swans. He knows how important this is.
You make beautiful setups, don't you, Dwayne?
It's just slaughtered a couple today.
Well, that would have set up a nice final term for us.
Let's have a look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Just on the back of the head.
Play on. Play on.
Three-quarter time at the SCG. And the Sydney Swans' final hopes on the line. So to the Bombers. And at the last change, they lead by 31. Essendon 12-12-84. Sydney Swans 7-11-53. And they'll be trying to orchestrate a victory here at the SCG in this final term.
Well, they've got to kick the first one, Sydney, to keep the season alive. They've got to go bang, bang very early.
31 points the margin, and poor opening. We'll get another one.
Clear the square. Clear the square. Thanks, guys.
Bombers have missed the finals the last 4 seasons. 3 of those, of course, under Kevin Shetty. But they're hunting down their first one for a while. A win here would be worth 8 points, you'd think. The Swans are a chance to take their spot if they win it today. Winderlick
Oh, nearly
Little
tripped over a
stumble.
teammate, I think.
Teammate, little ankle tap.
Hocking. They could almost nail this one shot in the first 5 minutes here.
missed him.
That's ball. Jude Bolton, he threw that out.
Another player that slipped over.
That's what we've seen
so
all
many
day.
of them have slipped over.
Surely they'll change their boots
Well,
shortly.
look, you can slip over in screw-ins. Let's not suggest that everyone that slips over isn't wearing screw-ins, but if they're not, they should have, they should cop a tongue lashing from the coach, if not an absolute public hanging, because it is inexcusable to be slipping over on a surface like this without screw-ins on.
Jack to Goods. That was a metaphoric public hanging.
And
yes,
and the
flogging they should get.
That's right.
Drawn and quartered.
Cut of nine tails. But we've seen the slippings cause many turnovers by foot. You just can't get perches on the ground when you're trying to kick as well. So we've seen plenty of turnovers there as well.
Hocking. Caught by Goods. Dragged back. No prior.
Been an interesting battle. Heath Hocking on Adam Goods. Goods has had 18 possessions and kicked a goal. Hocking's had 12 himself, and he's been pretty solid on him.
It's game 17, Heath Hocking, but his 4th season at the club, so he's been around the place for a while, and he gets sort of a possession on cue. Kirk caught high his ball. And been whacked from pillar to post. Brett Kirk again today. Off to Shaw. Chance for Ted Richards to go up. Doesn't. Almost spoils his own man. Richards and O'Keefe both went for that.
What about that for improvisation from Dustin Fletcher, just to get that little kick over?
Ted Richards done all the hard work to protect where the ball was coming down, and just didn't have enough of it.
Stay out at the back.
Davey.
Stay there.
A little bit of sunshine on the SCG for the first time in a while. The lights have been on.
Play on.
It's been a cold, dreary afternoon, sky-wise here in Sydney.
Just controlling the footy at the moment, aren't they, the Bombers?
Love it. Hurling. And now Lucas. Roberts Thompson with him. Dyson with the half volley. That was out.
Oh, close.
Bounced on the outside of the line. Mind you, I'm a lot further away than the boundary umpire. Yeah, bounced on the line. That's why.
Then went out. Good
Hey,
decision.
don't give me a whistle.
But it did bounce out after that.
Yeah. Welsh. Lloyd. Can't gather. But each second that passes is a second closer to victory for the Bombers.
Gave a little low five to a kid leaning over the fence then.
Good on
Matty
him,
Lloyd.
yeah.
He's in good spirits.
Wasn't Lisa down there on the fence, was it?
He's got 3 to his name. The Bombers are in front.
Goods. Shoots it out in the Remus direction. Too high.
No contact, so that's handy for the Swans, but they've got to spread the ball very quickly.
Bevan.
Essendon have been so good at staying with their man.
Yeah.
And as we saw just over the last couple of minutes, the Swans have given some space to their opponents, but Essendon are there every time a Swans player goes near the ball.
Vespremi beaten for that. Good spoil. Hocking wrapped up. Well done. Vespremi gets it back through Kirk's good work. Hands it off. Jack. He does give it, and a good give as well. Over the top to O'Loughlin on the line. Got it there. It's not done yet.
There's plenty of Swans players running through the middle of the ground there, running in support, which we haven't seen enough of during the game today. Essendon have been very good with their defensive structures and pressures, and Vespremi was involved. Kieran Jack, it looked like he was going to have a ping for goal there.
So too.
And Marty Matinee just probably didn't need to give that much weight on the handball. It was getting a little bit close, but in the end, they got the result they were after and got a goal just to keep them in the game.
.25 points the margin. O'Loughlin with 3. Swans with a sniff. Silence from the crowd. Big ball up. Ryder flies. Hand on it. Jack.
Good
We
attack.
rode that bump beautifully. Throws up a torpedo. O'Loughlin uses the body. Off hands. Love it. Fletcher. Poise. Stanton. Slattery. Over the head of Remus. Bevan.
It was risky on the non-preferred to go inboard.
O'Keefe. Another tough one to mark. Fletcher. Lucas out wide. Roberts Thompson with him. Fist, but straight down to Crismell. Love it. Spear to Lucas.
Hold Kieran. Hold Lewis.
Ton of time left.
Move it on.
Just a
Play on.
last forward 50 entry for the Swans. Over the years, we've seen Dustin Fletcher's been so good, not only in one-on-one contests, but to drop off into space and just block up the flow as the loose man defence as he did then on that occasion. Very good.
Bombers would be a little worried about their form. They've won only 3 of their past 7. They're vulnerable.
Play on.
Swans would know that, puts them down in their mind with another one quickly. Davey gets it off to Lovett. Heads it wide. Diving Winderlich, did it bounce?
Beautiful pass and great stretch.
It's been a role I haven't seen Jason Winderlich play a lot of, Lynch. He's played deep forward at different stages. He's come up on the lead. He's also roved the ball well. We see him up around the wing. We've seen him plenty of time on ball, but playing as a deep forward, he's been very effective today, been terrific.
Got that good speed off the mark.
18 possessions, 2 goals to Jason Winderlich, lining up for number 3.
What a big number 3 it would be. Push the margin back out to 31. Sensational. That'll erase some doubt.
You'd suggest that'd probably be enough at the moment, just the way the Swans are going with their ability to kick 6 goals to win this game, having only kicked 8 to this stage of the game. And once again, it was some speed by foot and some good use of the ball and some useful leads. Their forwards, they've mixed their forwards right around today. Lloyd and Lucas have pushed up the ground at different times, but there's been a number of players go through the forward 50 and all be very effective.
Biggest lead they've had was 32 points. It was late in the third term. Stands at 31 now. Hooker against Jolly. Bird quick in. Out to Jolly. Hacks it towards Grundy. McPhee beats him. Use the body. Read it well. McVeigh short. Crismell up away from him. O'Loughlin. There's that slip again.
Yep.
Hurley. Stanton. Hooker. Stanton. They're taking this game on as they've done all year. Smith. Barlow. That's not 15.
That's 2.
3.
Lachlan, it worked. To Pike. The big man long. Richards. Good use of the body. Can he finish though? Can he finish?
Got a loose player.
And I think the hands were in the side on that occasion. That was good use of the body, Teddy Richards. He knows what it's like at the other end, have the big forwards, protect the drop zone and take good marks. And on this occasion, he was the one in that role. Shove in the side.
Yep, no problems there.
And good mark.
But according to the way the umpires call it, that's 2 actions.
Yep.
Yeah, as you said, they're all 2 actions.
Yeah.
Can be a little dodgy in front of goal. He's kicked 1-3 this year. And he's failed to score.
Kicked it like a backman.
Well, I suppose, Dwayne, if it's any consolation, you got that one right.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Ted Richards rarely proves you wrong. Unfortunately for Ted, he likes to snap them as opposed to the set shots. Dempsey back to Remus. Sigh of relief for the Bombers. Oh, Winderlich missed.
Bad turnover from Remus.
Jude Bolton have got the numbers of the Bombers. Winderlich trying to mop up the mess. It's still messy. Still in there on attacking 50. Jack threw that out. Umpire saw it. Bombers ball.
Kyle Remus should consider himself very lucky. Ball kick coming out of defence. And then he just tried to indiscriminately kick the ball off the ground instead of putting the body over it.
Good tackle by Davey, just pinned the right arm.
Lloyd dives. Lucas can't get there to crumb it. And we'll get a ball in. Rowan Smith.
Well, boys, you've been talking about it all day, about the SCG surface and how slippery it is. You can see that every time the players change direction, there's a massive divot away from the SCG turf. But so I actually don't think that whether the boys are wearing moulded screw-ins or screw-ins would make too much of a difference. They're just taking too much turf up at the moment.
Pike back to Shaw. Adam Goods. Little push on. Lonergan worked. Can he release Roberts-Thompson? He flies. Is that 50? Gee.
He covered it up well, Scotty Lucas.
Shaw is away. Still time for the Swans. Ablett looks up. He's got a few options.
Numbers deep.
Barlow pumps it long. Jude Bolton with the fly and the fist. Standing with the crumb. Thumps it out. Big play this. Ves Primi hands it up. Smith from 50. No one in the square. Fletcher there. Grundy flies. Fletcher. His fist. Everyone stopped. The ball kept going. McPhee tucked up into the pocket. The release kick perfect. Hocking. Remus heads wide. Lonergan can't get there. Lloyd. Tackle. Hands to Lonergan. They're away here. Prismal needs to mark. 3 to beat. Good fist. Bevan after O'Keefe made the spoil. High kick. McPhee! Out to Lloyd. They're not far from the knockout blow here, the Bombers. They just need to land one last punch. That won't do it. Swans ball.
Yeah, just a long kick up towards Luke Ablett on this occasion. As we'll see here, great mark from McPhee. It was a 4-on-1 situation. Always going to be tough for Ablett.
Probably lucky he slipped Luke Ablett. He might have been in mark of the week otherwise. He was taking the big run up, Adam McPhee.
Goods left that for Madner. Kicks to the square. Ves Primi's down there. Got it!
Marty Matner, we know he's got that penetrating left foot, and it was long enough to get over the top of the Essendon defenders and carried far enough to get to Paddy Ves Primi. He did some nice work with his body into a good grab in the hands.
It's a battle down there at the moment between two ex-teammates, both former Northern Knights teammates, Michael Hurley and Pat Ves Primi. They know each other extremely well. They would have done that many a time at training as kids. And Ves Primi kicks the goal on him. Game on again.
Well, far from convincing off the boot, but it's gone straight through the middle.
They just don't know how to give up, Sydney, do they? They will fight tooth and nail. They might lack a little bit of class at times or a little bit of attacking flair, particularly now no Barry Hall. But they just keep coming. They just keep finding a way to push the ball forward. This time it's Ves Primi that takes a good contested mark and kicks a goal. And narrow the margin to 25 points. Still plenty of time on the clock.
It's a fair team, that Northern Knights team a couple of years ago. Matty Cruiser and Trent Cotchin also part of it.
I hope they won.
Some good players.
They got rolled, the big questions are.
They were a fair side. Inside 50s, 7-3 in favour of the Sydney Swans for this quarter.
They weren't stars back then. They were just under 18 kids.
Tipping they were probably pretty good ones.
Yeah, it's true. Swans free out of the middle. Jude Bolton's ball. 25 points the margin. Halfway through this final turn. A wobbler. Ves Primi can't get there for the spoil. Pears. Boundary line his friend and he knows it. Keeps it alive. No, he doesn't.
I don't think he was too disturbed either way on that occasion. He was charging up towards the wing, but to go out of bounds when he had plenty of Swans players around him was also a bonus.
31,000 here on the edge of their seat at the moment. Hocking. Love it. Some space. Tough kick over the head of Winderlich.
Good hands, Lloyd.
From Lloyd, quick to Winderlich. Now long kick, goal square. Lucas gets back. He gets it. And he won't be on any angle. Marked it inside the goal square and should kick the goal to get Essendon home.
We're going to keep patting Jason Winderlich on the back. His decision-making's been first class today, whether it's been where to go to read the ball.
That'll make it tough. 31 points.
Well, let's have a look at Tate Pears. Very close. Tough one for the boundary umpire who's behind the field umpire there that actually called it. But Jason Winderlich would have been tempted once he found clear space to run and carry the footy and probably have a shot himself, but he saw Lucas long, so instead of bouncing and running, he had 40 metres of space in front of him. He said kick it to the bloke in the goal square long.
So Lucas, his second goal. He's been on the list now for 7 years, Jason Winderlich. He was pick 11 back in 2002. So a lot was expected of him early, but he's really started to show why they took him that early now. Ablett, handball smothered. Welsh toward Lucas, bouncing ball, knocks it down. Bevan, Roberts Thompson, Craig Bolton, Shaw, Barlow. Oh, fumble. Pears wraps him up, got a kick, kept it alive, but to Watson. Dempsey.
Oh,
Lucas waiting for it. Roberts Thompson. Lucas with the spoil, knocks it down. Lonergan, Stanton for the knockout blow. Lloyd's on the line, he marks it just inside the field of play.
You expect Lloydie to take his time, go back and kick the banana here.
Yeah, you'd think so.
You look at all the options, Lynchy, and think, who can I... Oh, there you go.
Play on, hits the post.
Usually give the illusion that you're going to pass it off. Don't have
Like
no
any good
intentions.
forward.
Yeah, that's right.
And if someone is clear, you look at them long enough until they get picked up.
Then slip. There's a good mark.
Good contested mark, isn't it? It's been a tough battle against Craig Bolton. He's got 3 to his name, Matty Lloyd. Would have liked a 4th.
He's done some very good work up the field as well. We saw the lead up to that last goal to Scotty Lucas, some great hands.
17 minutes gone, final term. O'Keefe flies. Gee, he had a good piece of it.
He wants it.
Well, thought he held it long enough, but umpire said no, ball in.
1 against 2. He did get a good firm grab on it to start with. Nearly have paid that.
Certainly held it long enough in slow motion. Watson, Ryder, pokes it inside 50, Roberts Thompson. Shaw, Jolly. Time against them now. 18 minutes gone, final term. Smith, Grundy, McVeigh with him and knocked him.
Yeah, just pushed him under the ball, took the arms, whatever the umpire was explaining there, but just wasn't in the contest. Wasn't going to get his hands onto the ball.
Just having a chat to him, Mark McVeigh saying, really? Come on.
Too far out to score. Needs a pass option. Bombers getting numbers back. To the pocket, Adam Goods. Can't get the fly.
It was an important touch, though.
It was. So ball out. 19th minute of this final term, and here's McPhee.
Would have marked it on the chest, Adam Goods. Yep. Great work, Adam McPhee.
Goods beaten for it. And Ryder follows it up. Stanton. Roberts Thompson with Lucas.
Great grab.
Spectacular grab.
The wily old veteran up on the wing. It's taken a very good mark.
It's hard to believe they dropped him. He's in good form.
Open turf.
So love it. To put his mark on it. This is 33 points.
14 points for the day for the Essendon side, and a lot of those have been very kickable.
Shaw. Craig Bolton. Crouch. Shaw. Pears. Front spot, got hands to it. Richards dropped it. Caught. Pears dives back in. Manhandled by Jolly, but that'll do the Bombers. A few more seconds tick by, and we're inside 7 minutes to full time. And the Bombers with a 7-7 record coming in. Just pencil their spot in again to the top 8 at the end of this round, regardless of what happens below them. Whether the Hawks win or whether Port Adelaide have a victory, the Bombers have at least got theirs. Lead by 33. We get a ball in.
This will take them up the ladder into, depending on the Carlton result, and obviously Brisbane will play Geelong tonight, but they will go up and have a look at 6th spot for at least a short period of time.
Bevan had it but lost it. Watson, Winderlick was a throw. Jude Bolton to Kirk. Adam Goods. Fletcher with him. Battle of 2 stars there. Fletcher disappointed with himself.
And that's what you like to see. You've got a game that, for all intent purposes, looks like it's been won already, and he's still mad on himself for allowing Adam Goods to take a mark.
O'Loughlin, little slip again. It might work for him. Hurley, he slipped. O'Loughlin slipped under him. Gives to Jack. Kicks around the body. It's about the bounce. He gets an unkind one.
Saw Ted Richards was trying to do the right thing. He felt with the way the ball was swinging in, it would just rolled through. But unlucky.
You mentioned Carlton, of course. Alistair, the Sydney Swans, next 4 games. Carlton at Etihad, Melbourne, McManica, St Kilda here at the SCG, and then Richmond. It's going to be tough now for the Swans as Lloyd makes a strong grab. They finished with 3 tough games, the Swans. Geelong, Collingwood, and then the Brisbane Lions.
Want to be in good shape before those 3 games.
Oh yeah. Winderlick toward Lucas. Thumb clear. Kirk throws it away. LRT. Jolly. Craig Bolton. Shaw. And they know now the Swans. The Swans beyond them. Crouch to Bird. O'Loughlin. I can see on the clock 22 minutes gone. Pops it up in hope. Grundy can't get the jump at it. McPhee with the fist. Shoveled out. Watson. First game back from that ankle problem. He's been okay. Stanton. Love it. He runs. He spears. Lucas.
Scotty Lucas got no one to pass it to, so might just pull the socks up and have a big long ping.
Gee, passes off again. Lonigan.
He must be crook today, Scotty Lucas.
He must have got some.
There was no one in the square.
He's crook. He's given away hand passes in the goal square.
He's cooked or something before the game.
Yeah. Look, it's great to see him doing team things like that. He's worked hard. Scotty Lucas hasn't been an outstanding day for him. 14 possessions, a couple of goals. But he's worked hard. He's contributed.
Too much sportsmanship fatal, though, isn't it? I mean, a little bit's great, but too much can be fatal. You do need a few goals next to your name sometimes. In the paper the next day, but Scotty Lucas looking for assists at the moment, doesn't get one there as Lonigan misses inside 4 minutes. Malcheski. Bird. Swans, who have never missed the finals in a full season under Paul Roos, in danger now. O'Keefe shrugs an attempted tackle, hands it up. The long bomb from Crouch. Too little, too late, you think.
Yeah, a little bit too late, 27 points down, but Jared Crouch, the Swans veteran, has just got on the end of some handy work. But this is something we haven't seen enough of all day, is being able to run from deep in defence, break the forward 50 and kick goals. And it's been a strength of the Sydney Swans over the years, but hasn't been there. And that's a credit to the Essendon side. It's just been fantastic the way they've stayed with their opponents all day.
3 minutes 19 and 27 points. The equation, which is too much.
He's kept Alan
Even
Davey
for the best Swans, you'd think.
Yep, he's kept Alan Davey to 13 possessions and just a couple of points. Jared Crouch hasn't been a bad day for him.
Jack wrapped up. Kirk likewise. Umpire will ball it up. I mentioned the Swans have Carlton next week at Etihad Stadium. Well, the Bombers have the Bulldogs also at Etihad Stadium next week.
That'll be a beauty.
You'd suggest that'd be a high tempo affair, plenty of pace.
It's almost as if the Bombers don't play in anything but big games these days. Collingwood last week, Sydney at the SCG in an 8-point game today, and then the Dogs await them. Stanton dives in. Watson shoots it back to one of the men of the moment, Winderlick. Lonigan, you heard the call, not 15, nor's that from Crismore to Welsh. Hip and shoulder on Kirk, short, sore shoulder again. Bird back to Kirk. Balling, and there is the pain on his face.
And out on his feet, and was happy to see that one go on over the boundary line. He'll get back in for the next contest, and a solid bump that one, but he continued to get to his feet and fight it out.
He grimaced away from the camera, and then when he faced everyone again, put a smile on Kirk. Didn't want to show anybody the discomfort. Dempsey. Ryder.
Thanks, Marty. Mike. Thank you.
We might give this a ride.
Mike. Thank you.
Swans flooding back. Not a lot of space to lead into.
Play on. Not 15. Play on.
Not 15.
15.
Well,
Not
Schmuck,
15.
that 25 minutes. Not 15 again. Dyson. They got a new tape measure.
They have.
The
Bevan.
instructions come out halfway through the third term just to pull them all up, and that's amazing.
Play on.
McPhee. Toward the boundary. Ablett. No free for in the back there. And
One chance.
we'll get a ball up with 1:38.
Let's have a look, Dwayne. Is it 15 metres? If that's not 15 metres, I don't know what is.
Well, that's 2 goal squares, isn't it?
Yeah. It's closer to 20.
It's easy for us up here.
Absolutely, we don't make
Yep.
mistakes.
No, that's right.
We're perfect.
McPhee.
Caught
And
about
that-
3 wrong names at the start of the game.
They've umpired well today, the umpires.
They
They've been good.
You should hear what they say about us, the umpires.
Oh, scathing they are.
Yeah. Lewis Roberts Thompson back pocket, and even that can't go right. Been the Bombers' day. Essendon led by 4 points at quarter time. They led by 18 at half time. The Bombers by 31 at 3/4 time. They currently lead by 27. Oh, they'll add to this. Prismal. Well, he's never kicked a goal for the Bombers. Brent Prismal has been a very good pickup, but couldn't kick his first in the red and the black.
And didn't know how much space he had. He could have run all the way to the top of the goal square then and kicked it. He was
Yep.
clear.
Hey. Any forceful stuff? I'll pay a free kick.
Umpire still barking instructions.
That's a good one. Any forceful stuff and I'll pay a free kick.
That's right. So little ones are okay.
Yeah, mucking around, I don't care.
Big leap, Paddy Ryder.
He's been good, Paddy Ryder.
He's getting more involved as the game goes on. He hasn't had big possessions, but this will be number 12.
Coming off that 4-kick game last week, so he'd be happy with the form today.
But Darren Jolly certainly hasn't dominated by
No,
any
he's
stretch.
got a
He's only
quiet
had the 10, been very quiet.
Stanton, off hands. Can't get some icing. They're behind. So they've just slowly strangled the life out of this game in the final term, the Bombers. Started this term with 12 goals. They've now got 14, so it's been a relatively low-scoring final quarter. Fletcher and Goods.
Second metre, Dustin. Play on.
Goods takes him on. Fletcher didn't fall for it. Kirk about to get crunched one more time. McVeigh to Fletcher for the final blows. Winderlich, appropriate that he's got it in his hands with the siren about to blow. Love it. Pops it towards Lloyd. Lucas will do, and that has been the story of the day. The two of them has shed it nicely, and Lucas with the final kick of the afternoon. Big long thump on the left, and it's there. They win by 35, the Bombers. They've missed the finals for the past 4 years, but they're tracking towards September now. 15-17, 107 to the Swans. 10-12, 72.
A very good win for the Bombers, no doubt about that. They play a fast-running game, but they were good in the stoppages today as well. And if you're going to play the Sydney Swans at their game, you don't want to do it at the SCG because there's not a lot of space up through the centre of the ground. But they've done it extremely well, worked hard offensively and worked extremely hard to shut down the Swans defensively as well. So they'd be very happy with this win.
And Rowan Smith is downstairs with Jason Winderlich.
Thanks, Dwayne. Well, Jason, it was a pretty important game for the club today, and you come up, the SCG ain't got a win.
Yeah, they've been sensational up here for the whole year, so we knew it was a tough challenge. Like, they play a great brand of football, like try and close down space. So, yeah, it was just great to get a win to cement our spot in the 8, because if we had a loss today, go back behind the ledger to a 7 and 8, and then it's all uphill from there.
They are the #1 tackling side in the comp. Did you speak about that during the week and say, OK, well, we've still got to take them on?
Yeah, it was a matter of, we knew they gang tackled, so it was a matter of just absorbing 2 or 3 tacklers and then feeding it out, because then we'll have the free boys. Because obviously, if guys are leaving their man to come and get us or tackle someone, that leaves someone open. So I thought we did that well today.
The conditions today, the ground looked very slippery.
Yeah, it was. Like in the middle, it's a bit hard, but I think they've had a bit of rain up here and it was a little bit slippery out wide. But other than that, I thought it was in terrific, Nick.
It's a pretty exciting time to be around the club at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like I've said a few times this year that I'm only 24, and I think today I was probably about the 5th or 6th oldest player. So see guys like Kyle Reimers, Courtney Dempsey and that, they play a terrific brand, and one that Matthew Knights obviously lets us go out and play, and it's just pretty exciting.
Is that Matty Knights' direction? Just go out there, boys, take them on, use your speed? Yeah,
it is. Like that's obviously our game plan, and obviously we've still got to work on the defensive side a little bit when we do turn the ball over, but when we do go, we try and go as hard as we can.
And yourself, you're in terrific form at the moment and you've had a great season after having back surgery. What do you put it down to? I
think I worked pretty hard for the pre-season that I did get. I didn't start training until pretty much on Christmas Day, so the medical staff and I think Knight has done a terrific job in the way he's rotated me either through the midfield or in the forward line. So, I'm still just trying to plug away.
Well, Jace, congratulations on your form and congratulations on the win today. Well done, mate.
Cheers, thanks, Smitty.
Jason Winderlick downstairs with Rowan Smith. Matty Knights has done a good job. The last time these two teams met, it was up here in Sydney, and Sydney smashed Essendon by 91 points when Matty Knights was young in the chair. Well, they're kicking on now, and they're hunting down the finals after a 35-point win.